So yes, this has been a conference, I think, one of the very few conferences where sustainability hasn't been number one in the lineup. And actually, I'm quite pleased for it because I think sometimes we talk too much about sustainability, but it's very, very important, I think, in terms of propulsion that we do. So there couldn't be a better guest on the stage right now. So let's just start with the basics. Let us know like the current state of the emissions in yachting and how far our sector has come forward. In reducing the carbon footprint, which of course is enormous, we all know, and how that looks from your perspective at Volvo Penta.
Yeah. First of all, I am Nicola Pomi, Vice President Yacht Division in Volvo Penta. So first of all, just starting to a little bit to look into what we are talking about. First of all, when it comes to sustainability and where we are in terms of industry, yacht industry. First of all, we are talking about around 10,000 units of super yacht, above 24 meters, the fleet, the global fleet around the world, while 1,800 are sailing, the rest is motor yachts, and around 2,300 are, of course, to be repowered or to get a big refitting. We are contributing as a shipping at around 3.5% of the total contribution of CO2, while the yachting is 0.7, something like this, so it's not a huge contribution. But saying that, of course, sustainability is one of the key points, is one of the big arguments that now you cannot skip in that respect when you are discussing with your customer, no matter is the stakeholders. Saying that, may I say that in the last years, some step ahead has been done, especially when it comes to alternative fuel. Some of the OEM, they have started to adopt alternative fuel in order to reduce CO2 footprint when it comes to, methanol, hydrogen, HVO, for instance, which is something that has been already used right now because all the diesel engine has been compatible with the HVO. And of course, some also try in the electrification as well. Mm-hmm. When it comes to Volvo Penta, of course, we are in this race, and we have some pillar in our company. First of all, we are super focused on efficiency. We would like to have, of course, before starting to discussing about power, we would like to understand really how much power is really needed on a yacht. If I look into the work cycle of a yacht, we have seen many times, even the last week we were in Metz, we saw a standard work cycle of a yacht, which is 90% in a marina or in an harbor or in a bay. Just 10% of the lifetime of the yacht is just cruising, while the top speed is just 0.1% of the time, which is really nothing. So that's the reason why we need to create efficient system. It is exactly what Volvo Penta is doing, trying also to create modular system in order to be ready, no matter will be the technology tomorrow, but being ready to be, in line with, no matter if it will be internal combustion engines with alternative fuel or full electrification of the system.
Yeah, it's an interesting point because you've mentioned methanol, HVO, etc., etc. Nobody quite knows which direction it's going to go, which is going to be our new fuel. Everyone's trying fuel cells. What are we going to do? What's your opinion? I mean,
I would be billionaire if I have a clear, direct answer on your question. But I think that there is we know there is no a silver bullet. There is no one size fits all, unfortunately. As I said before, we need to look at, first of all, at the work cycle of the boats. There is boats, maybe they can be fully electrified if they are, in a lake maybe, or in an inland waterway, or maybe where you are maneuvering marina, you can use a full electric system, for instance. But when you go in an open sea, you need at least the power. We need the combustion engines in anyhow, so far where we are today. And of course, we need to look into this in order to be ready. As engine manufacturer, we need to be ready. No matter will be the technology tomorrow, but you need to develop. You need to be ready for methanol. You need to be ready for hydrogen. You need to be ready for HVO. You need to be ready for electrify your system as well,
for
because
everything.
You don't know what will be. But in certain time, you will be. Of course, you will see this kind of ramp up in volume, and you need to be there. But as I said, according to the work cycle of the yachts, so producing energy when the energy is really needed.
And at Volvo Penta, can you share with us any specific technologies that you've got to help this cycle along and to help us to improve? I mean, as an industry, we do need all the help we can get. So.
Yes, as I said, as Volvo Penta, we are already developing something into the market. We have, for instance, last Cannes Boat Show, we have launched a system, an hybrid system, together with a well-known OEM, which is Azimuth. we have launched this parallel hybrid on a vessel around 70 feet, which is an extremely good project for us. It will be also a learning curve, not just only for a usage point of view, but also for a legislation point of view. Both of us, as an engine manufacturer, but also our OEM, they're starting really to understand, also to try to clean the gap between the system and the legislation that is not there yet, which is important. But also, by using the system, you really understand what is the feeling, the experience you have on board in terms of zero emission, good maneuverability, going full silence, which is very good. This, I think, is the really way to trigger a little bit the magic between the industry and the end user.
Well, yeah, absolutely right. And there's lots of obstacles, I think, in the way of developing things for our industry specifically.
Yes.
Can you talk to those at all?
The obstacles are, of course, taking into account that Volvo Penta has tripled the R&D investment in the last 3 years.
Wow.
Because, of course, this kind of technology costs a lot. And also, compared to the past, you cannot create a standard business case, or you cannot have your return on investment. You have just to build new technology, try to test the market and see if it is work or not. But you don't know if you get back your money from market. This is, for sure, cost is one of the point. So also when we are going to introduce a new system into the market, there is a cost point also for those that are going to buy it. For sure, there is an infrastructural issue when it comes to alternative fuel. There is a problem that there is not available. The availability of methanol, for instance, hydrogen is not there. And last but not least, of course, legislation. Legislation, of course, no matter what it is, for a engine manufacturing point of view. So we are under IMO 3 today, but tomorrow we will have another legislation coming in. But also for the marina, getting the authorization to refill both with hydrogen, refill both with the methanol. Today, the authorization and the infrastructure, they are not there. So that's the obstacle we have to scale.
It's a huge infrastructual change for marinas to be able to bunker other types of fuels.
Then we need to do that. To get this kind of benefit, if you want to get our net zero in 2050, we need to go in this journey together.
No green wishing, just green action.
Exactly. No, that is important. What is important that when I say that, for many times we have just at least the reason why we cannot do things, trying to explain why it will be difficult, why it's impossible in some cases to introduce the new technology, especially in yachting. Now we need to act. We need to show to the market, to the world, that we are capable, no matter is the obstacle, to show that we are able to do something more sustainable.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Earlier on, Dan said something that really stuck with me. Like, we're in the industry that, as a prototype industry, we can do the impossible in these short time frames. So it makes me wonder sometimes why there's so much don't want to actually invest or actually take the brave step into these two technologies if we can pretty much do anything else. And there's enough smart minds in the room, right?
Exactly. That's exactly the point. So we need to be brave, as you said. One of the real pillar on this new technological shift is the courage, to take decision, to enter into the market, because also the cost-wise, also if I look into the cost angle, let's say cost point of view, as long as we cannot trigger the market, we never get back our investment. So we need in anyhow to enter into the market, understanding with the technology we are introducing as the possibility to grow it, to scale up, and then it's part of the game. But we need to start somewhere. We cannot just waiting, We need to go and to try to get to the market something that is not.
Try and be as dynamic as we are and building as we are with this new technology.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Well, this has been fascinating. I think that I'm just going to ask, we've got a few minutes left, so if there's any audience questions, we want to jump in and talk about any propulsion, electric. There we go, we do have a question. Can we get a mic, please? Excellent. I know there would be one question at least. At least we've got some time for questions now.
Yeah? We have some.
Yeah, we do.
Efficient.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
So there are some competing technologies now. Hydrogen is one of the solutions, and electrical is not applicable to big boats as far as we can see. Among these options, what are you betting on, or what do you think is going to be the front runner at the end of the next 10 years? Because there's lots of development going on.
As I said, I don't want to repeat myself, but there is no one size fits all, so we need to be prepared, both sides, hydrogen and electric. if I give you my opinion so far, I mean, about the two technology, hydrogen is quite, let's say, not tricky, but intensive as a technology, because you need to install a tank at high pressure, and also, as I said, we have also issue when you need to the availability of hydrogen, and also we need to talk about green hydrogen if you would like to be really green when we're discussing about sustainability. So that's a little bit. We are ready to do that, but I mean, I see a little bit. In the long term, this kind of technology coming in our industry. When it comes to electrification, I think it's more close to the technology is already there. It's more a question to try to find a way to get the cost down of the technology and to have the possibility to have a compact system, an integrated system, in order to give to the OEM and to the owner, of course, a good integrated experience. I think that if I look into the two technology, I don't think that one is better than the others, or we have a winning solution compared to the others. But I think that in the timeline, I see electrification coming earlier.
Good answer. Anyone else? We have got a few minutes. Any other questions? No? Okay. You've got something else to add? Yeah, please
just
do.
last things that I would like
Please
to add, because you touched the point about sustainability. I think that what is important to say about the, because we are discussing about a lot about the green, the fact that we need to be green, and also we don't want to jump into this kind of greenwashing,
Or wishing.
Exactly. That is not good. We need to avoid it, because we are under on the spot as an industry, because we are talking about recreational, and also when we are polluting, let's say, we are polluting for nothing in some cases. I think that it's important to look into the LCA, the life cycle assessment. So I think that our product also, not just downstream, not just only when it comes to the usage of the boat that has to be net zero and zero emission, but also when it comes to upstream, I mean, our supply chain, how do we produce the product, how we do recycle the product, I think is another important point. Absolutely. For instance, as a Volvo Penta, we have this kind of reman activities that we try to reuse the product in order to don't produce new material to put into the market and reducing the CO2. So I think in that specific point, we need to look into the Green Deal as in the wide perspective, not just downstream, but also look into our supply chain. And I think looking into our industry, I think is the big challenge, because in some cases the supply chain has been done by a small company that maybe they cannot afford this big investment in order to create a more greener, let's say, production line. Yeah. That's it.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Nicola. That's fantastic.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Photos?
Huh?
Photos?
Well, if you like to. Here we are.